Welcome back to Area DMG. I'm your host, Philip Wesley, the Mile High Mouth, and for today's episode of Radio DMG Versus, we're going to, let's get some of the site stuff out of the way real quick. I've been a little under the weather, kind of, and because of that, we're a little bit behind on some of our video processing. There is a video that we have to, we're attaching new equipment to it. Like, we're trying to use a new program for that one in particular so that I can edit it in a certain way. Whenever we have videos out there, if it's somebody that we're recording, we do ask if there's something they'd like us to edit. We do that with all of our interviews. We do that with many of our videos. Mainly because, hey, I'm going to let you know that we do have some stuff with Blake Shepard coming up, which from Anime Southwest, and it is a little edited at the request of the person being filmed. And we have to make sure that we are transparent in what we change. Anyways, Denver Comic Con is coming up and we have our tickets for that. We also have tickets for Sony's PlayStation Experience, and we of course will be covering Nintendo stuff when it happens and as it happens. In fact, a lot of really big Nintendo stuff actually happened. Well, Nintendo Pokemon stuff. Since that last bit where we had the new 3 starters revealed, a little bit more about the game, today, or rather actually Thursday, the 2nd of June, they revealed the 2 legendaries. The first one is called Solgaleo. It's a psychic steel with full metal body ability and an attack called Sunsteel Strike. I find it kind of amusing that their Sun Lion is completely vulnerable to fire, like a lot. Then you have Lunala. Not that Luna. Lunala. It's a psychic ghost with Shadow Shield and an attack called Moongeist Beam. Darkness can completely tear this thing apart, like seriously. Hit it with a dark type move, and Ghost and Psychic, it's just like 4 times, like, it's ridiculous. It's really vulnerable to that. They also announced the professor for this. His name is Professor Kukui. His name's inspired by the Candlenut Tree, and I think this professor is going to be a little bit more hands-on in this game. Oh, the Candlenut Tree is a symbol in the islands of enlightenment, protection, and peace. His friend assistant to this other character that they introduced is named Lily. She's mysterious, and I don't know, she may have something to do with the antagonists of the game who have not been announced yet. I think this particular professor will be a little bit more hands-on in this and figure more into the plot, similar to how Lance was very much a part of, I think, Pokemon Gold and Silver. Yeah, that's probably what they're going for. You also had a rival friend character named Hau, H-A-U, revealed, and that's kind of okay. The big things that they put out there, there's QR code scanning to add Pokemon location data to your Pokedex, and your Pokedex is possessed by a Rotom. So it has a bit of a personality. A couple other data dumps revealed that there are 2 Pokedexes that you get. One for the region there, Alola, A-L-O-L-A, Alola, and Mele, which is M-E-L-E-M-E-L-A. And I was like, wait a second, why is there... None of those are the international decks. You have a Alola and Mele decks. That seems kind of weird. Then I was looking it up and I was like, wait a second. Well, Alola sounds like that's just the main Hawaii-inspired islands. And then Mele sounds like it's inspired by the Vanuatu Islands, which are French Polynesian, owned by, like, they're a different set of islands. I think they're going to split part of this up a bit. If it were me, and I'm not saying that they're going to do this, this is all speculation right here, but I have kind of a feeling that Sun and Moon have a lot more differences besides their legendaries, and besides their Pokemon allotments. See these? Let's pretend for a moment that this is Alola, and this is Melee. I'm thinking that if you buy Pokemon Sun, you start in Alola, and then after you beat the Elite Four or all the gyms, you start playing through Melee. I'm thinking that if you buy Pokemon Moon, you might start in Melee. When you finish up the Pokemon gyms and the Elite Four, you end up in Alola, which would be brilliant if that's what they do. Kind of like the region you end up in one game is the region you start in the other. That would be, I think they're going to do that. There's going to be a Pokemon trailer at E3, and then about an hour's worth of Pokemon Sun and Moon Treehouse play over at E3 this year, which goes to show, just like I said, their entire floor will be Zelda, right? And they're going to have a big emphasis on Zelda in the Treehouse, but there's going to be releases of trailers and other information about games throughout E3, and the Treehouse stuff will have parts of it which highlight those. So in other words, it's just the main area of their E3, of Nintendo's E3 booth, that'll be Legend of Zelda. Oh, there's a couple other things that were announced. We might get an announcement from Marvelous about the upcoming Story of Seasons, Tale of Three Towns, or whatever you want to call it. 3 seasons or 3 friends or something. The one with 3 different towns to live in. That one will be interesting. That's probably coming early next year or very late this year. Natsume still has a Harvest Moon name, and they announced Harvest Moon Skytree Village. It's got a new art style, good. New characters, good. Land customization from the previous game, good. And new animals, also good. We'll see what they learn from this. If they learn anything, what they should do is go and license the ideas of Stardew Valley and then stick those in there. That's really what they need to do to fix Harvest Moon. Although anybody who really wants real Harvest Moon will just go for Story of Seasons. That's going to be at E3. Also playable at E3 will be the new Sonic Boom Fire and Ice game. Xseed has announced that they're going to be releasing a physical version of Shantae Half Genie Hero, and that's going to be their Risky Beats physical edition, which will have a soundtrack to it and be released on PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, and Wii U. So that'll be interesting to see. That'll be there. Corpse Party will be there. A bunch of other stuff coming out this year will be there. It's going to be, E3's going to be interesting, even though there's less than 200 people, or rather companies, who are showcasing items at E3 this year. Last E3 that I went to was 2006, and there were over 600 companies at that E3 in 2006. There was a 3-hour-long line to go in and play Twilight Princess on the Nintendo Wii. It was ridiculous, which was kind of amusing because people had like 3-hour-long lines for this game because they had so much in their booth. Nintendo's kind of taken a look at E3 and decided, well, E3 has changed over the years. I think in 2007 was when they shoved everyone into a hangar, essentially, and I was like, oh god, no. So yeah, we haven't really gone back. In fact, it's become less and less relevant as things like PAX and various anime conventions have risen in prominence. You're gonna see Nintendo stuff at like San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, Anime Expo. You see these companies put that stuff out there at those conventions where you have more of a general audience who get to play those. Most of us who review games or cover games in the media, we get those for free essentially. We get sent demos. Or if your offices are located close to where Nintendo's offices are in California or Seattle, or Redmond, Washington, you get invited over to there, and they can show you these at any time. Getting information to the press in this digital age no longer requires a huge info dump. In fact, when you do a huge info dump, things get lost. It's kind of like how the government does this, where they'll pass a whole bunch of laws right on a Friday, and then hope people are distracted by a gorilla while they're sitting out there filing away our rights. I mean, seriously. They'll be like, oh, it's a Friday. Well, let's make certain things illegal now. But we'll make sure that people are too busy talking about something a celebrity said and not notice. That's irritating. But yeah, things get lost in data dumps. So I'm kind of glad that Nintendo has distilled that down quite a bit. Let's see, there's some other information. Oh, one thing I want to mention about the new Pokedex for Pokemon Sun and Moon, it's possessed by a Rotom. I'm going to call him Rodex, or her Rodex. I don't know. I'm calling it Rodex. And it's got a personality, apparently. Also, it will let you know on a map where you're supposed to go next in the storyline. Which, oh, so good. Kind of like how I think there was a feature where it would tell you what you did last. I think they did that in one of the Pokemon games. I'm trying to remember which game it was, where they had a little thing that would tell you what you did last. And I'd like to see that come back. Customization's coming back, so new types of clothes and skin colors and hair colors and all that, and that's fantastic. Pokemon Sun and Moon is shaping up to be pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to it. Also, you should look forward to some of the content we're going to be bringing to you later this week and next week and during E3 and Denver Comic Con, because we are covering all the events. All of them. And it's going to be awesome. But before we go, and before I cue the music on our feature, our feature this time around will be it's an older interview with Lauren Landa that we hadn't released yet. The actual physical, or rather the radio-only version of Radio DMG will be coming back soon, probably next week, and it'll have the interviews with Christina V, Karen Strange, and this interview that we're going to have with Lauren Landa as part of it, so it'll be a longer episode. Also around that time, the next Musical Rations, which is kind of a vanity project of horrible pop music, that'll come out around the same time. Also, please look forward to some of our upcoming content in terms of we're going to do some stuff that focuses in on different video game franchises and video game accessories. So if you like our videos about that, you'll love the videos we're bringing up. We also had a request from one of our viewers to read some manuals, so we're going to do that too. Those are going to be first person. What we're going to do is we're going to have the manual in front of the camera, and I'll read the relevant parts of that. We'll see how well that does, and if you like that, we'll do more of that. Just let us know on this. Oh, also, we're going to be recording more animated stuff, and we are going to expand past that. We're going to expand past what we have done right now with animation, and we may do a couple live action reviews that have to do with video game movies. So I have a ton of movies and stuff here, like a lot, and many of these are just bad, terrible things, and come on, I want to review some of these. We'll just do it. We'll just do the reviews. We'll find something to put them into. We might put them into future episodes of Radio DMG Versus to make them part of this content. But yes, thank you for watching this. Hit that thumbs up below. Hit that comments if you have any comments about the news that we covered, or any ideas you have for later shows, anybody you'd like us to interview, things you'd like to see in Radio DMG Versus. Any feedback you might have, like if you have questions, ask me below, and I will comment on those questions in the next Radio DMG Versus. You make this show special. You make this show better. And I can't do this show without you giving me feedback and letting me know what you like, where you want to go with this. Because you are the most important part of this show. Don't let that get to your head now, okay? Still my show, but you're very important. So yeah, let's go ahead and cue the music. And welcome back to Radio DMG. I'm your host, Phil Wesley, the Mile High Mouth, and I'm here with
Lauren Landa.
And we're at Non-DESCON 2015. Woo!
Woo!
It's been a long convention so far.
Yeah, it has. It's been a lot of fun, though.
So, we've, just in case our listeners forgot who you are and what you do, again, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Lauren Landa, and I am a voice actress from Los Angeles, California. I've done the voices for Kasumi in Dead or Alive 5, Annie Leonhardt in Attack on Titan, Yon Leisha in Soul Calibur 5, Kyoko Sakura in Madoka Magica, and most recently, and many others, but most recently I was announced as the new Sailor Neptune in Sailor Moon.
That's a pretty exciting thing. So, what have you been up to since the last time we've talked to you?
Getting cast as Sailor Neptune.
It's the highlight of my life. I'm a fictional character.
That's the only thing that I can talk about as of right now. So, but yeah, there's been a bunch of other stuff, but that's been a pretty big part of it, and I can't believe that half this year's already gone by already. It's kind of scary.
I know. Well, actually, more than half of it. We're in September.
I know. It's almost holiday season.
It's almost time for us to start hanging out our Christmas jack-o'-lanterns.
Yes. Christmas jack-o'-lanterns.
Absolutely. So, what do you think of the convention so far?
Well, this is honestly, personally, one of my favorite conventions ever. I've been going here. This is my 4th year here. I can't believe it's my 4th year here. And I love it every year, even more. The staff are amazing. I'm very close with the staff here. Also, the attendees here are absolutely amazing. Everybody's so nice and polite. The panels are a lot of fun. We get good crowds. It's really all been great. So,
what do you think of the new hotel?
For a while, it took some getting used to because it's one of those things, it's a change, and I'm kind of like Stewie. I don't like change kind of deal. But I think it's very nice, and I think, it's downtown Denver. We got a lot of stuff all around. There's restaurants all around here. There's shopping to do. So I think it's a great location, and I think it's a perfect size for this convention.
Oh, yeah, and there's the Taste of Colorado going on this weekend.
Yeah.
Have you gotten to see it yet?
Not Taste of Colorado, but we did go on a tour, the bus tour, which was awesome. We got to see Molly Brown's house. We got to see I'm going to pronounce it wrong, the Brown Palace, hotel, the hotel, what is it called again?
I am not actually sure. We've lived here for years.
Okay, it's right across the street. So it's I just always forget, but it's beautiful. We went there last night. Very, very pretty. The tour was very, very interesting. We got to find out a little bit history about Denver, and it was a lot of fun.
Excellent. Speaking of a lot of fun, we had recorded a panel, which you can see up on Area DMG, for the Titan Talk panel.
Oh, yeah.
So, which donut did you end up with?
Which donut?
Yeah.
I ended up with the cookies and cream one.
Oh.
I didn't even finish it.
Oh my goodness!
I know.
Yeah.
It was the regular. It was like a glazed donut with frosting on top and Oreos, like chunks of Oreos on top. And I claimed that one. I saw it and I said, "That's mine," and I didn't even finish it. So, but I've always wanted a voodoo donut, so I can now say that I've had a voodoo donut.
Yeah, but it's kind of a rite of passage, kind of like Casa Bonita. It's like nobody really wants to eat the food there, but you have to say you ate the food there.
And now I've done both. So what does that make me like a true Denver native now?
I think so. There's other stuff. I mean, there's a bunch of other pizza places you need to check out at some point while you're here and all that.
Okay. Well, I am a fan of pizza, so that's totally fine with me.
But it's a pretty good. It's been a pretty good year in terms of this indicates it's been so busy.
Yeah. It's been very busy.
But coming back to I'm gonna ask you a couple things about Attack on Titan.
Do it.
You were talking about during the panel, you were talking about the scream that you had to do.
Yeah, the Titan screams. Yeah.
So how rough was that, really?
Well, Mike McFarlane, who is the voice director of Attack on Titan, he also was the voice of Jean Kirstein, and he also was the voice of Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Z. So Mike knows a lot about screaming for hours on end because it's from Dragon Ball Z. So he knew that it wouldn't be easy, but he knew that I could do it, and we scheduled kind of I don't want to say a separate session, but we had set specific times for all of those screams. And if you remember, in the panel, we talked about, when she screams during the final battle, she's grunting, she's screaming, she's attacking. But there's one particular scene, and it takes place where she's in the forest. I don't remember what episode exactly. I think it's like episode 22 or something, or 21. And she is in the forest, and she all of a sudden throws back her head and screams very loud and for a while, 3 times. And that was just one consistent scream after another. That was very painful to do, because if you remember in the original Japanese, it's and I just poked myself in the eye. It comes from the gut. It comes from the back of the throat. So it was it was painful, but I'm very happy with how it sounds. So it was a lot of fun. I love to do that stuff in sessions. It just hurts. It just hurts to do so.
So what do you do to help recover your voice? Like, I know some people eat apple slices, and there's like the lemon and water things and salt water. What do you do particularly to help preserve your voice?
Well, I sleep. Sleep is very, very important. Resting it is very important. Don't overuse your voice. Don't talk too much, which is an issue that I have because I love talking to people. But most of the time, hot tea and lemon will help. Also, I don't remember the actual Chinese name for it because I'm a horrible person, but the Hulk juice, which Fred Tatasciore used. I'm sorry, Fred Tatasciore? No, the original Hulk.
I don't know the original Hulk's name.
Yeah, it's my brain.
We have to Wikipedia that.
Yes, we'll wiki that, and I should know. Again, horrible person, but Hulk juice helps a lot. It helps soothe your throat, but rest and sleep really, really help. Most of the time after a video game session, if I am done for the day, I will go home and do absolutely nothing, because video game sessions especially are exhausting, and then anime sessions like Attack on Titan are also very exhausting.
So any particular type of tea that you recommend?
Oh gosh, I have no idea. I'm not an expert on tea. Whatever tastes good to me, but peppermint seems to be the one that a lot of people like. So
because of the menthol and such in it?
Yeah, I think so. And peppermint just tends to have a lot of healing qualities, I think. So yeah,
it just clears everything out.
Yeah, exactly. So basically I'll get to eat a candy cane or something when when the holidays come around.
So with like Attack on Titan, I guess, spoiler, your character's a villain.
Yes.
Do you ever find that people online tend to not separate you from the villain? As in, how do you deal with the occasional super fan that's just a bit really annoyed that you killed off that particular character and then just wants to take that out on you on Twitter or whatnot?
I've never dealt with that.
Excellent.
I hate Twitter personally. I'm not a fan of Twitter, and all of my pages are private, so I actually don't have any fans on either page, simply for that reason. I love what I do, and I love nerding out with fans, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, but I understand when you love a show so much, but I have to say that I don't see Annie as a villain. I understand that in season 1, that's the basic term that you would call her, because she is the big bad at the end. But psychologically and technically, I really don't see her as a villain. I see her as a victim of, not a victim, but I see that she was on a...
complicated.
It's very complicated because we don't know her history. We don't know why this is her mission. We don't know why she's doing what she's doing. But if people paid attention, what they remember is that Eren rips her head off and she's crying, which means she's showing emotion, which means she either regrets what she did or she's upset that she had to do that, and she had to betray her comrades, So anybody who is a villain doesn't cry over that. So I actually do not see her as a villain. But as I said, because it's the first season and because
Oh, yeah.
she's the big bad at the end, right now that's okay, but we don't know what her past is, but we will find out.
Delve deeper into that. There's I guess you could say that we have yet to see the cracks in the wall of her personality.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just barely skimming the surface of this.
Right.
It's not crystal clear yet.
You're on a roll today.
I'm trying to get there. It's like, I had coffee this morning, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's okay. I haven't even had coffee,
Oh,
so.
no. How are you operating? We've got
I
autograph
have
signings
no
after this.
idea. I know. You know, it's interesting because most of the time, before autograph sightings, I'm exhausted. I know because I'm going to be talking a lot. But then the moment people walk in and the moment they show me their beautiful smiles and that they're excited to be here, that helps me get really energized.
It's that energy. You're just drawing off that.
Definitely.
Feeding off of it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, we don't want to keep you from recovering a bit before your autograph session. So
it does take some
Oh
recovery.
yeah. Before we go, is there anything that you'd like to go ahead and promote before we leave?
Well, I'd love for everybody to keep an eye out for when the release date of Sailor Moon S is going to be. This show is very dear to my heart. I was a big fan of Sailor Moon back in the day, and specifically Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus were my favorite characters. So this is very, very special, very dear to my heart, and I am really happy with how things are sounding, and I really hope the fans out there really like it, and we are doing our best to give Haruka and Michiru what they deserve. So.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
This has been your host, Phil Wesley, the Mile High Mouth. I'm here at Non-Descon 2015 with
Lauren Landa.
And good night, and you're all caught up.
Yay!
And that's the end of our show for today. This has been an episode of Radio DMG Versus. I've been your host, Phil Wesley, the Mile High Mouth. We had our Newsity, followed by an interview with Lauren Landa. That was audio only. That happens. And what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button, because by the time this is up, we will most likely have passed 7,000 views, which is insane. I'm sorry, not that. Views. 7,000 subscribers. All of you, there's like 7,000 of you people who hit the subscribe button. You really cared enough to hit that. Thank you. And, let's onward to 7,500 and 8,000 and higher. The more this channel grows, the more this channel will be able to expand. We'll do more stuff with it. More, all that stuff. If you want more, let people subscribe. Tell people to subscribe. Go and into the streets and grab homeless people and then make them sign up for Gmail and make them subscribe. Anyways, that's been our episode. Whew, we have a lot to go through. We have a lot more stuff that we're going to put into these. It's going to be awesome. Stick around for that. And until the next episode comes out, you